Mhm. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Welcome and welcome my co-facilitators.
Hello. Hi.
We're
Hi,
going to be
everyone.
we're going to be having a chat today about the interactive erotic educator training, the first intake of which will begin in October of 2024. And because it's a somatic training, we thought what better way to start this session than by offering a guided practice. So I'll be doing that. I'm Sam. I'd like to begin by finding somewhere in your space that you're content to spend the next 5 or so minutes. And once you're in that place, allowing yourself to start settling in and finding a way into your body, bringing your awareness internally, however works best for you. Your eyes can be open or closed. You might want to be still, more than welcome to move. Notice what's happening with your breath. And if it feels good for you, maybe let out a sigh or make a noise. Oh. Notice what your hands are doing, where they are. You might like to let them rest somewhere comfortable or comforting, perhaps on your body. I'm starting to get curious about your previous experience learning about sex and eroticism, pleasure. You might have lots of memories, or maybe just a few. Spending a moment with what has come up. Oh. And feeling for a peak experience of erotic education. Stealing Jack Morin's concept of peak erotic experience and feeling for one where you learned something about yourself, about sex, about pleasure, eroticism. This might be an experience where you came in with an intention to practice something or access a new skill, or where you were able to break an old pattern, experience yourself in a new way. Allowing whatever experience you've landed on to fill your awareness. Where are you in this experience? Maybe you're at home or visiting a practitioner or in a workshop, at a party. Imagine the time of day. And who was there? Perhaps it was just you, or you and a lover or a friend, or you and a group of lovers and friends. workshop folk. Who was doing what to who in this experience? Were you the doer or the done to, or maybe you were observing? Remembering what was happening in your body. Perhaps letting the echoes of those sensations wash through your present experience. Was there pleasure, intensity, or relaxation? What emotions came up? Perhaps surprise, disbelief, or maybe some anxiety. Just note any other qualities of the experience that are standing out to you as you feel your way into it. Particular traits that you showed or other people involved showed up with. And asking yourself, what qualities in this experience make up a peak erotic experience? Perhaps not just for you, but for others. How might we create one? Peak erotic education experience. Taking a breath and inviting some activation back into your body. Oh, maybe a bit of movement or a stretch. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Oh, my body's feeling all tingly. I was going between a few different experiences actually. And yeah, and thinking about all the different places and the different opportunities I have. And thank you, people who are watching, for coming on this little journey with us. The intention for this training is to provide an opportunity for clients to have these peak erotic educational experiences, is to provide a space for people to come and learn about their bodies, about their sexuality, their sensuality, how to connect to other people, how to connect to themselves. And our intention is to create a training that trains people to work with their bodies as a tool, with their hands and their bodies as a tool. We also are going to look at how they're going to do it, what kind of boundaries they might have. And this training is open to people who want to work in all sorts of different capacities. There isn't a right or wrong way. Our intention is to support each person in finding their own way, their own unique way of using their bodies and working with clients in that capacity. It is open for people who are already working in this way on some level, sex workers, body workers, massage therapists, yoga teachers, really anyone. And it's also open to people who have no previous experience and who are curious and interested. We have a little application process. If you are curious about this, if you're interested, get in touch with us, send us an email. We'll send you the full course description. We will give you an opportunity to have a chat with one or two of us and really find out more, answer any questions that you have, ask you a few questions ourselves, and figure out if this is the right training at the right time for you. There is no obligation you're not you're not committing to anything by having a chat with us. We just like to make sure that you are in the right place and support you in feeling into whether this is right for you. The training goes on for 10 weeks. We start in October. It is hosted online, but it is very interactive and very somatic. So yes, there's a little bit of theory, but the theory is there to support practice. Students will be working on their own bodies. They'll be working with some volunteers, and they'll be paired or connected with their classmates and working in pairs or little groups throughout the training. Our aim is to create community. And there'll be people probably joining us from all over the world. This is not a big industry. This is not a big world. And people who are already working would know that it can feel quite isolated. And so we want to stop that. We want to create a cohort. We want to create a community and a family that will keep going after the training as well, providing supervision opportunities, providing community. And the other thing that we're really passionate about are creating safe containers for our clients and for ourselves. And part of doing that is having a code of practice and a code of ethics, which we've written, which is linked on the website and on your course description, as a way of helping everybody be safer and creating a clear structure. Also working with a clear session structure and working with learning objectives. And we'll get into that a little bit later on. So this is a little bit about the course and about what we offer. We're starting in October. The commitment is about 10 hours a week. You can manage that time as you please, apart from the live classes that will be happening twice a week that you will need to attend. And of course, scheduling time to practice with your classmates that you will coordinate with each group that you are connecting to. I think that's everything I need to say for now. Anybody has anything they'd like to add to this?
I think you covered it.
Okay.
That's amazingly comprehensive. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Bravo.
So what we thought we'll do next is to invite each facilitator to introduce themselves and talk about the module that they are teaching. There'll be 5 modules in this course. Each module has been birthed, and it will be taught by one of us. And each of us chose a topic that they're really passionate about, that they have a lot of knowledge into, and we all feel is really important to pass on to people who want to work in this industry in this way. So the first person to teach module 1 is Sam. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Sam. I will be teaching module 1. And in module 1, we really work with how to co-create sessions with clients, how to find a learning objective through kind of eliciting their past experience and what they really hope for themselves, how to create agreements that protect the client and ourselves, that honor their boundaries and our boundaries, and how to design practices that are potentially two-way touch practices that meet that learning objective, and then also move into reflection that helps them consolidate their learning. It's a consent-focused unit and really looks at consent as a dynamic process that you and the client are both engaging in throughout your sessions and throughout your working relationship. And the way that this module will be taught is really experiential. So you'll be able to experience a process of elicitation and of finding a learning objective and designing and participating in practices and reflection along with other members of the cohort. So by the time module 1's finished, you'll have that experience of what it's like to go through a process like this, which will really support you to work with clients in your professional practice. That about covers it for me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Sam. And so that's module 1. And then module 2 is taught by Lorraine.
Hi, I'm Lorraine, and I'll be teaching heart-centered co-regulation in module 2. So I'm bringing in experience from a couple of decades of working in strip clubs, and also my training as a trauma therapist and also a body worker, sexological body worker, to help bring these skills together to help to use your body, your nervous system, to help co-regulate your clients. So help them calm if they're feeling anxious, help to bring up their energy if they're feeling depressed, and using our bodies as a way to help change and bring them into regulation. We'll be working with interpersonal neurobiology, some of Dan Siegel's work. And again, like Sam's module, it'll be very experiential. We'll be learning new things that you can go and try with clients, with friends, with partners, and practicing these techniques to help you
like to bring these skills into the room when you're actually working with a client. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's got a big camera shy there.
We love you.
How to prevent transgressions if they happen in the session as well, by using our bodies to help the nervous system of our clients regulate as well.
And I wanted to add, Lorraine, you're doing quite a bit of work around trauma and being trauma informed. So this is not a trauma therapy training, but we want our clients to be trauma informed and know what to do if trauma comes up in the room and how to regulate our clients in that way.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lorraine. Module 3, Anthony.
Hey everyone, I'm Anthony. Some of you might know me as Hazy as well. I go by a few different names. I have been doing sex work for a while now, but also bring in, I guess, a skill base around being a counselor and a therapist. So my module was titled, we'll call it, Importance of Who We Are and Knowing Ourselves. Because it is really about understanding ourselves and what we bring into the space, including things like our ethics, our values, and how that works in the space with the people we're working with, right? We're going to be looking at, like I said, ethics and self, how that translates to kind of this kind of work, whether it's sex work or in somatic kind of inquiries. We're going to be kind of looking at different ethical frameworks as well, and applying that, including the code of ethics for this kind of profession in that way. We're also going to be doing stuff around what happens in the space with clients. So for example, like attachment, attraction, those kinds of things when they rear their heads in sessions. What does that mean? How do we navigate that? So it is theory based, but there's definitely lots of kind of somatic inquiry in there as well to keep you all engaged and going through. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Thanks, Anthony. I think I'm teaching
You
the
are,
next
yes, Uma.
module.
You're next.
So I'm Uma, and I am one of the people who are part of the Institute of Somatic Sexology. So I have been teaching the sexological bodywork course for many years and other courses as well. I've been working in a two-way touch capacity all of my working life in lots of different ways, as well as in a one-way touch capacity as a body worker. And I see the usefulness in both ways of working, in both modalities. And it's a big part of why we're all here, because we see the usefulness in one-way touch, we see the usefulness in two-way touch, and we also see the usefulness in modalities where no touch is happening with the client. And we feel that as practitioners, it can be really great to be able to work in different styles, or refer people who work in different styles, depending what your thing is. My one of my biggest passions is working with people who have sexual issues and concerns. I get a lot of that in my private practice. And so I have how many classes do I have? 5 classes. 4 of them, one of them is optional, that I have designed specifically for this course. One is about working with anxiety. So what do we do with how do you help someone learn the skills of interacting intimately, sensually, sexually with another person when they're anxious, when they have social anxiety or general anxiety, and so a whole bunch of stuff around that. Also, a class about working with pain. How do we connect with our pleasure when we have something like chronic pain? How can we have sex when sex hurts? And so looking outside the box, working with increasing pleasure capacity to decrease pain, a whole bunch of different techniques and different things to play with there. Looking at body image issues, people who have body image issues that stop them from interacting, not just with others, but also with themselves erotically. When you look at yourself in the mirror and all you see is bad things, or it can be challenged to find pleasure in your life. So we're looking at that. The last one is working with delayed orgasm. What happens when you want to have an orgasm, but you can't? You just can't get there. And there are lots of ideas, lots of techniques. I've been doing this for a long, long time. Not everything works for everyone. And this is the point of this training. We're going to have 2 weeks to really dive into all of these pieces, do a little bit of research and lots of practice, try things on yourselves. You might or might not have that particular issue, but using our bodies as barometer can be really useful in exploring what works. Try things on other people, on your classmates, on volunteers. There is an optional class as well, which is working with erectile difficulty. So this class is specifically for people with penises. And I recognize that not all people who are going to come and study with us will be working with people with penises or want to work with people with penises. So it's an optional class. You can attend it or not. All the other classes are designed for people of all gender presentations and sexual orientations, and designed for practitioners to work in lots of different capacities. Whatever your boundaries in your work are, will work with all of the techniques that we'll be exploring in these classes. There will be a few more classes than in my module than the normal 2, but that will be all given to you in a schedule. That's me. Thanks for listening. And last but not least is Jules.
Hi. Oh, thank you, Uma. So, hi, I'm Jules. I've been working in sex industry for about a decade now, and I was really quite keen early on after starting to study somatic sexology to bring that into a two-way touch environment. And my first iteration of that was called Naked Counselling. I didn't market it very well, but those who did find me had really great journeys, and it was really valuable to work out what I wanted those to look like, and it was a minefield. So I'm so delighted to be part of a group of people who are pulling that all together now to give you out there a community to figure out what you want to do, because I think that was really hard for me. So anyway, back to my unit. I'm finishing off with something which is going to be inviting you to ask more questions, and I'll be asking more questions than I'll give answers. I finally decided to name it Uncertainty, Bring It On. And yeah, it does sort of it essentially follows a journey of what does the change process look like in humans. So that's the sort of arc of the unit. But like I say, I feel like I might leave with more questions to go and find the answers to than you arrive with. So that kicks off with the first class is called Lasting Change, which I'm immediately going to say is a paradox. We often look for lasting change, and yet the only thing about change is that it's whatever you get to now is that's going to change again too. So we're going to just cut that off, to cut the head off that and say lasting change doesn't exist, but we'll really try to stay curious to what that change process is looking like right now. So within the module, we're going to look scrolly down here at how we can use storytelling, how storytelling can be a really useful tool to question why we believe what we're telling somebody else that we believe about ourselves, when it can be useful to the practitioner to bring our own stories into the equation, when it's best to listen without judgment to somebody else's story, when it's time to ask a question about what they're saying and perhaps question something that doesn't fit with perhaps their nervous system presentation at the time. And we're also going to really look, because this is a two-way touch environment. Your stuff is coming in the room as well. Your stuff is going to be there even more than it is when you're in a one-way touch environment. So if you've been doing sexological bodywork for years and are thinking of bringing in two-way touch, I think it's a really great time to be examining again self and what you're bringing to the space and where that's going to interact with your clients. So like for me, one of the biggest tools when things are coming up is remembering to get back to curiosity. Get back, bring us both down here. We're in this journey together. Okay, let's regroup and come back and start again. But that never-ending process in change of you just start again. So we're going to be working through lots of little paired and group work and out of class work to really hone some of those skills, role play some of the ways you might bring clients back and self back, because of course, it could be you're the one who trips out in session, and you need to be congruent with like calling what's happening and modeling what it's like to come back and start again. So as that sort of stuff. And then of course we've got the community. So in the end of my module, we're going to be presenting what we're offering moving forward. So what's going to be available to all you guys in terms of supervision, and I don't think we've actually decided exactly what that's going to look like yet, whether that's, a monthly check-in, we're going to get it. It's going to be great. And you guys are going to stay connected, basically. So, yeah, closing with that, so we can all come together and connect and stay connected moving forward.
Beautiful.
me.
Thank you. Thanks, Jewel.
Mhm.
And thanks everybody for listening. We hope that this is something that you are curious about and that you'd like to join. Please get in touch with us. All you have to do is go to the website intereros.com, intereros.com, and we'll see if we can print it somewhere. I'm not sure. There'll be details in the publication. Go to the website, have a look, send us your inquiries, and we would love to chat with you and answer any questions that you might have. Come and join us in October. Thanks everybody for listening, and thanks everyone for sharing your passions.
Thank you. Thank you, Uma.
Bye.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
What a pleasure.